this looks good.
It looks good. I like it.
Welcome, Soul Seekers. I am one of your soul guides, Patricia Rivera-Wolfson.
Hi, everyone, and I am your other soul guide, Linda Krause-Barnett. Welcome to Thursday.
Welcome to Thursday.
Almost weekend. I love it.
Thank you so much for joining us today, where we are going to be talking about the results of our experiment from this week. Yep, there, Linda has the book. And we are doing the 8th experiment this week from the book that Pam wrote called E Squared. And there's 9 experiments in here, which means next week is our last week for these experiments. And it's been so awesome. But today, we're going to talk about the results of the 101 Dalmatians principle. Linda, you want to do a quick little summary of what that principle was, and then we can talk about it?
Yeah, so the theory is that you're connected to everyone and everything in this universe, and that you don't have to be physically close to someone to communicate. And so it's basically like telepathic communication. And so the gist of this week was to send a very clear message to someone not physically in your presence, and to wait for the message and wait for whatever, she talks a lot about synchronicities. So it may have been a call, it may have been some sort of just mesh of communication with the person in your thoughts. Whoever you thought of somehow came to you and somehow interacted with your reality.
Yes, and so now we're going to talk about our results. And as usual, I can't speak for Linda, but I'm certainly a rule breaker. And I like to push the limits of everything. And this week's experiment was no different than usual. So I did put someone out into the, I intentionally sent a message to someone to contact me. But as you may or may not know, it was my birthday this weekend. So it made things a little bit more, it wasn't difficult, but I was like, who am I going to think of that is not going to contact me because it's my birthday? So literally everyone who I love and care about and who's presently in my life contacted me to wish me a happy birthday. So I wanted to pick somebody who would not, that I could not use as an excuse, like, well, it was my birthday, of course they contacted me. So, and I say I'm a rule breaker because I did one thing that I really, that I actually think I stated on our video that not to do, and I did it. And then, so I picked 2 people. One person was someone I haven't spoken to in a really, really long time, and was a friend that we had a falling out. And so I kind of put that message out there to have them contact me in some way. And that did not happen, which is fine. I really wasn't expecting it, and maybe that played into it as well. But, I really did think, like, how much of this are we, we can't make or force people to do things. And so it is simpler or easier or much more advantageous to do this exercise with someone who you are connected to. And currently in this physical time and space presently connected to, because then they may receive the message. And for all I know, this person that I sent this, that I had this thought about may have received my message, and there are, things blocking them from reaching out or sending a message. So I did think about that. And then the other thing that I broke the rule, but I did have a successful connection, was my grandmother. So my grandmother passed last year, and I haven't really gotten a message, so to speak, from her in a long time. And so I was thinking about her, and I was like, I'd like to get some sort of message from her. Like, I really want her to reach out and show me that she's near. So I thought of ladyfingers, because my grandmother loves chocolate ladyfingers. I don't know if you guys know, like, it's like a little cookie wrapped in chocolate, and they look like little fingers. And so it was one of my grandmother's favorite snacks. So I was like, I want to see ladyfingers, and I know, then I'll know that she's like reaching out to me. Well, I didn't see any ladyfingers because, of course, when I set the intention, nothing seems to work out quite the way I said it. However, and I brought a prop for this. So here is my blue vest that I literally wear all the time as it gets colder. And I haven't worn it in a while, but That's not true. I was wearing it a lot for the last couple of weeks, right? And one day I was like, what do I have in my pocket? Like, that's so weird. I don't recall. I was like, do I have another pocket up here? Because, you know, I put my hands in these pockets all the time, but never up here. And I was like, oh, I have something in my pocket. And so then I open up the zipper and I find this. Okay. And look, it's a picture of my grandmother.
That's awesome.
I completely forgot that I've been carrying her with me in this jacket. And it was like I felt this. I've been wearing this all the time. And suddenly I was like, what is this that I'm carrying? And there it is, my Voshakina, who is, I'm sure, laughing at me, going like, Celia, I've been with you the whole time. You didn't even look. So, you know, I didn't get the message on one end, but this one by far made up for the fact that I thought I had failed in the experiment, because
we get the message we need, not the message we necessarily want, right?
Exactly. So Linda, tell us about your.
That's a fantastic. First of all, that's like, I love that you wore the jacket to tell the story, and I love the whole thing. I love what you found. I love the message. It's such confirmation, and it's beautiful, and I absolutely love everything about that story.
Thank you.
So here's the deal with mine. I did like 8 people because I started like a week early. I'm also a rule breaker, hence our best friendship. So I literally, and I told this on Tuesday when we did the video, like, this works in my life consistently, and I believe in it. And I think the more buy-in you have, right, then the more you're like, without a shadow of a doubt, this is going to work. So I literally had like, I wrote a name, it came. I wrote another name, it came. I wrote another name, it came. So out of the 8, 7 of them came with precision. I was like, I'm a badass. Like, this works. You know, I'm a telepathic badass. One did not. One did not. And so when I was at the gym yesterday, like, the gym is, I don't know, something about sweating. I get like these intense downloads. I don't get down weight. I get downloads. So there's a point to the gym, I guess. Anyways, I was there and I was like, why is this one not working? You know, like, I freaking pulled 7 people, like, got them to communicate with me out of nowhere. Where's this 8th one and why isn't it coming? And I don't necessarily know if my explanation is the reason, but here's what I think. I think that we hold an intention to the people we try to communicate with, near or far. And we hold a vibration to that person, you know, like whatever it may be. Maybe you're trying to reach someone because, like you said, you know, I have a friendship that went away a long time ago, and we follow each other on Facebook, but it hasn't really been the same since. And, you know, so you might, maybe there's a friendship intention or a romantic intention or a family, you know, I want to talk to someone in my family who haven't spoken to in a while. And however heavy that emotional tie is to that person, or whatever your motive really is for communicating, is going to affect how quickly that message is expedited. Because like you said, there could be a block, you know, if you're trying to reach out to someone in hopes of some sort of reunion or forgiveness, but they're not in a place to forgive you, then like they may get the message, but energetically they're not open to it.
Yes.
Or if you're trying to contact, you know, someone romantically and they're in another relationship romantically, so they're not in a receiving mode for your energy, or whatever it may be, you know, whatever relationship you have with the people you're trying to bring in will affect not only when you get the message, but how you get the message. And so I really was like, you know, it was cool only because I do know that this communication works. It was so interesting to then dive a little deeper, which is something I hadn't done before, and really think about, why wouldn't I be able to reach someone if this really works, you know? Mm-hmm. And then to contemplate, their vibration is here and my vibration is here. So whether they were standing in front of me or far away, we're not aligned energetically to kind of be in each other's reality. But
Yes.
because I created that thought, the moment we are energetically aligned, then I have no doubt that it'll happen.
You know, I like what you're saying. I mean, I'm totally yes to all of that. Yeah. And that piece to me too is we have no way of knowing, but I 100% believe that both the person who didn't contact you and the person who didn't contact me received our message on some level. Like either they thought of us and were like, you know, like that's interesting, or, you know, had this thought, but we can't confirm that. But I know the message, and that's the thing with all of these experiments. And if you've been following us, you know, whether they worked out or not for us, I have absolute faith that all of them do work. And then there are little things that come up that explain why something may not have worked in the way that I had hoped or expected, or in the same way for Linda, or maybe for you. Like there, you know, when we're talking about energy and vibration, there's really subtle things there that are at play that really, this is a practice. It's like we are currently practicing how to connect with our energetic power, you know, in the way that we have been. Like this is a practice. If you don't think about it, you know, then you're not doing it. But if you're thinking about it and you're practicing it, you will get better at kind of figuring things out. And you're like, oh, you know, this works when I do this.
And I agree that, you know, how many times I've had this like random thought, like I'll think someone will pop into my head and I'm like, where'd that come from? And it could be that person, you know, has me on their radar, or that I popped into their awareness. Mm-hmm. And I don't always act on that. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't know why I'm thinking of this person, but I should give them a call. And sometimes it's so misplaced, or I, you know, whatever, I'm just, it's not, timing isn't right. Then I'm like, got it. But I'm not acting on that right now.
Yeah.
And so, here's what I believe my conclusion for this, because I did really kind of invest a deeper level of like digging into this than others, only because I find like this might be one of my little secret powers. And my conclusion is that these messages are all received, right? And your job is to send them out. But your job is not to control how they land, or where they land, or when they get reciprocated. You know, it's like if I want to call you and say, hey, Trish, I really love you, I'm just thinking about you. If you don't answer the phone and I hang up, then I don't send that message. But if I leave you a message and say, hey, I know you're not available right now, but I just wanted you to know I love you and I'm thinking about you. That's what voicemail is, you know, and then I let you have the message. And it doesn't matter if you call back. It doesn't matter if you listen to it that day or the next day. What matters is that I sent my heart, I sent my message to you. And that's what we're in charge of, you know, and that's what this was intended to do. Now, I think that if you live this stuff, you'll be surprised because, you know, even if it doesn't happen in the 48-hour timeline, I'm telling you that the people we communicated with are going to communicate back.
Yeah, I think so.
That's how it works, you know? Maybe right now they're not aligned, but in 5 days they'll be like, I don't know. I thought about Linda. I just didn't call her, but now I feel like I should call her, you know, or you run into them at the supermarket, or you know, and it might not even be that they intend to see you or communicate with you, but because you've activated that, you're going to randomly run into them.
Yes.
You're going to kind of cause this cosmic traffic jam where you will somehow cross lines. And I think that I'd love to hear from everybody or anybody who had this experiment, really communicated with someone, really had a communication back, or a synchronicity, or something that was the result of trying this experiment. So please reach out to us if you have a story.
Yes, we definitely want to hear your stories. And, you can email us or message us. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet, we have our show coming out. If you can see the little ticker tape on the bottom, Thursday, November 28th, Soul Seekers TV will be launching our world premiere. So please go to our YouTube page, Soul Seekers TV, on YouTube, and subscribe and ding the bell so you get the notifications of when it's up. And just do it. Do it now.
Do it now.
Do it now. And we're going to be back on Monday. Monday, right? Yes. We'll be back on Monday with the very last experiment of Pam Grout's book, E Squared. And I'm really excited to do the final experiment with you and also get your feedback on how this whole experience has been. So let us know, because we want to hear from you. And I think that's it, Linda. We're ready to wrap it up today.
I think that's it. Thank you for being a part of our lives and our journeys, and have fun soul seeking.
Have fun. Bye.
Bye.